Hello everybody, this is the 11th lecture of the IELTS. Today we are taking two exercises about one passage. The first one says choose the three letters A to G, which three of the following arguments are stated in the passage. That means which three of these statements are ideas in the passage. A says penguins are not afraid of people who behave calmly. B. Penguins are becoming an endangered species. C. Tourists are not responsible for the fact that there are fewer penguins nowadays. D. Penguins are harder to research when they have young. E. Penguins will not leave a nest with eggs in it. F. A penguin's behavior may depend on its species. G. Penguin stress may result from being with other aggressive penguins. Let's come to the passage. Penguins show signs of stress. Previous research by scientists from Kiel, the university in Germany, monitored Adelie penguins and noted that the bird's heart rates increased dramatically at the sight of a human as far as 30 meters away. But in new research using an artificial egg which is keen equipped to measure heart rates disputes this. Scientists from the Scott Polar Research Institute in Cambridge say that a slow-moving human who does not approach the nest too closely is not perceived as a threat by penguins. Okay, I think I've read this one. Let us check. A. Penguins are not afraid of people who behave calmly. Yes, it gives the same sense. Scientists from the Scott Polar Research Institute in Cambridge say that a slow-moving human, that means a person who behaves calmly, who does not approach the nest too closely, is not perceived as a threat by penguins. Okay, that means they are not afraid of that person. So A will be an answer here. So the first answer is A. We still have two ideas. Let's go. The earlier findings have been used to partly explain the 20% drop in populations of certain types of penguin near tourist sites. However, tour operators have continued to insist that their activities do not adversely affect wildlife in Antarctica, saying they encourage non-disruptive behavior in tourists and that the decline in penguin numbers is caused by other factors. Okay, we have a point talking about that. It is C. Tourists are not responsible for the fact that there are fewer penguins nowadays. Okay, so A and C are answers. We still have one. Let us read B. B says penguins are becoming an endangered species. Okay, it's mentioned here, yes, but it's not as a main idea. It's mentioned as an explanation, so we don't take it. We just take the main ideas. Why? Because this paragraph as a main idea talks about the tourists which are not responsible for the fact that there are fewer penguins nowadays. Okay, let's go on. Amanda Nemon of the Scott Polar Research Institute spent 3 southern hemisphere summers at Coverville Island in Antarctica studying penguin behavior towards humans. A nesting penguin will react very differently to a person rapidly and closely approaching the nest, says Nyman. Firstly, they exhibit large and prolonged heart rate changes and then they often flee nest, leaving it open for predators to fly in and remove eggs or chicks. Okay, let us see. D. Penguins are harder to research when they have young. No, I don't see any idea here. E. Penguins will not leave a nest with eggs in it. I don't see this idea here. F. A penguin's behavior may depend on its species. I don't see this idea here either. G. Penguin stress may result from being with other aggressive penguins. I haven't seen this idea too. So let's go on with the other paragraphs to check. We took A and C. We just left B. So we still have D, E, F, and G to decide which one of them. Okay. The artificial egg is specially developed for the project, monitored both the parent who had disturbed when the egg was placed in the nest and the other parent as they both took it in turns to guard the nest. We don't have the idea here in the points of choices. However, Boris Chulik, who monitored the Adelaide penguins, believes that Nyman's findings do not invalidate his own research. He points out that the species behave differently, and Nyman's work was with gentoo penguins. Okay, he points out that the species behave differently, and Nyman's work was with gentoo penguins. I see this one in F. A penguin's behavior may depend on its species, so we have the third answer here, A, C, and F. Let us check more. Nyman and her colleagues believe that Kulik's research was methodologically flawed because the monitoring of penguins' responses entailed capturing and restraining the birds and fitting them with heart rate transmitters. Therefore, argues Nyman, it would not be surprising if they became stressed on seeing a human subsequently. So I don't see any of the other ideas mentioned. So in this case the answers would be A, C, and F for the reasons which I have just mentioned. Okay, now let's go to the next exercise. It says classify the following statements as being true of A, B, C, or D. A. The research on Adelaide penguins. B. The research on gentoo penguins. C. Both research projects. D. Neither research project. Write the correct letter A, B, C, or D. Okay. Number 1. An individual species of penguin was tested. This one means in which project? In A, in Adelaide, in B, in gentoo, in C, in Adelaide and gentoo, in D, in none of them. Okay, 2. Penguins were caught for the experiment. 3. Physical changes occurred when a human was nearby. 4. Tourists were permitted to observe the experiments. 5. Heart rates were measured by an item manufactured for the experiment. Okay, because we have in the first passage, in the first paragraph, previous research by scientists from Kiel University in Germany monitored Adelaide penguins. Okay, caught here does not mean caught could be not just like arrested. No. Could be have been seen. Have been seen means caught also. So they were monitored, which means they were caught. Okay, so 2 will be A here. 3. Physical changes occurred when a human was nearby. We noticed that in both researches, a physical change happened when a human was nearby. In Adelaide penguins and also in what we call it also gentoo penguins. It's mentioned in both of them. 4. Tourists were permitted to observe the experiments. This is D, because I haven't read anything about tourists were permitted to observe the experiments, so it's in neither of them. We have here the last one. Heart rates were measured by an item manufactured for the experiment. This is in B. Why? Because if we read the Nyman's research, which means Amanda Nyman's research, which means it's about B, the research on Gen 2 penguins. The artificial egg specially developed for the project monitored both the parent who had disturbed with the egg was placed in the nest and the other parent as they both took it in turns to guard the nest. And they were talking about the heart rates too. Okay, if you like this lecture, please just press the button of subscribe. If you have any questions, just write them in the comments. If you have any criticism, you would like to criticize anything, please write it in the comments too. Thank you very much. It was Haidar ALcasseer with you. Thank you.